surplus countries will take the biggest hit.
Alright, you guys should have me. Let me know if you can't see me in Discord. You should be able to see me in Discord too, or see the screen. Alright, technical difficulties as usual. I'll be back in a minute after the disclaimer.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should definitely consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues for educational purposes only and should not be used to express or imply promise or guarantee that you will prompt losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in most Apple Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without termination. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account will spot each will achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading report can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program is called trading losses or material points, which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results cannot or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results involved, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
Oops. That's not it.
This trading room and this webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trade recommendations. The analysis as I share trades and potential trades that I take for myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of the first two trades that identify specific areas of trading management themselves, but ultimately the decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky if you decide on my personal trade, you sort your own risk and potentially lose your entire account even more. And that I was profitable and I have 14 drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet that I access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use to enter zone values and ATR values and I'll be the exact prices for my trades. You can see when I enter zone prices into the master spreadsheet as well as prices to enter trades whether you might go long or short. You have the ability to add in this spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm zone prices and vary zones correctly yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction trades, it has entry prices and stop prices for both long and short positions depending on which one you personally decide to trade.
Alright, good morning. Welcome to Headline Land once again. It's just markets all over the place with these Trump's posting on Truth Social. They got this Bessonette guy on TV talking about tariffs. It's just every day. It's the same thing, right? Got a position on. They start talking. I was keeping track for a while. It got sad, so I stopped keeping track. But I think I had 25 out of 27 headlines went against my trades. So equity-wise, anyway. So it's not been easy. It's all we've been talking about in the trade room. You know, the markets are markets. There's nothing you can do about it. I don't care what edge you have. You know, something comes out, something said, a number, a Fed talk, whatever, Fed number, anything like that, all bets are off, right? So that's what's happening with these tariff talks. Every time something's mentioned, you know, I don't care what trade you have on how good it looks or what edge you think you have that looks great, it's off the table because there's new information in the market. So you just got to deal with it. Tell my trade room every day, you got to make a decision whether you're just going to put trades on, you put your stops in and hope that you have no control over anything anyway, but it's even worse with these headlines. You put your trade on, and if you're going to trade, and put your stop in and hope you don't get the screw job against you, or you just don't trade at this time. But I don't know when this is going to end, right? So you just canceling my NQ longs. I was supposed to be short here. I combined these. There's back-to-back double whammies here. This validated as a bearish setup. I was still put on. I was already short from up here, barking like there was a pre-market. I'm talking to a trader in my trade room, but I took a short right off the open. This was pre-market broken ice setup. ATR retest confirm. I got short. So this did go in my favor. This was the Trump talk because he was saying Canada, we don't need Canada, and the markets just started getting smushed, and then this stuff came in. So this is a very important area for NASDAQ structure-wise too. So I will trade double-sized shorts if we. You can see this is a pretty crucial area. So, it's forming one bigger balance, but this is, balance series are all fractal. So you had a balance here the other day, failed balance breakdown, ripped out, but this is telling you something. We've been capitalizing on these trades as far as thesis. When the market has a failed balance breakdown, in this case, and it should rip off the page, and it comes back, it's probably going to get smushed again. We saw that, where was it? It was right here. So we took advantage of this day, tried to break down, rip back through the high volume node. Couldn't go. I think this was Friday, and it couldn't go, and then got killed. Same thing's happening here. Failed balance breakdown the other day. It did rip. It ripped through the high volume node and kind of sitting here, and it should have done that. Now it's back. So now we have other trades here. Again, this is all thesis stuff based on structure. Thesis meaning a guess. I have no idea what's going to happen. That's why I trade real-time volume events. But you could make that a bigger balance too. That's a balance. So that's breaking down out of balance through the high volume node of that balance. So we have different strategies here. We have a breaking bad. Turn this guy down a little bit. So all of my trades, I'm looking for volume events in important areas. So the breaking bad is an aggressive entry, meaning first move out of the zone, current balance break out or break down through the high volume node of the preceding balance, right? So that would be this. Again, it's fractal, it's one bigger balance too, but you have little balances inside the bigger balance. That's balance from yesterday. It's breaking down through that. I got events right here. Like I said, I should have already been short. I just was having problems with the... It's not going to matter anyway. Alright, so those are canceled anyway because the prior NQ disqualified. So guys, this is why I use real-time volume events to guide my trades. Like if I'm staring at this bar chart, I would have been jumping on the short. Like I said, I should have been short on this one. To the tick, I would have been filled, so I would have mentioned about that. But my point is, now that has failed, and now we have some new activity. So this is not a bearish setup anymore. We had double whammy. And inherently, this is bullish anyway, right? Even though it did, and I don't even know if I did this right because I was doing it quickly. This may not even have qualified as a short, but it doesn't matter now anyway. These are inherently bullish, right? You get the dumb money puking the stop runs that's showing you with 100% certainty that they're stop runs, not some guy just guessing at stop runs like some of these educators do that aren't using this information, which don't have all the information. And then you have the waiting hands of buy ice, right? So that did hold. I mean, again, it did get through here, but that's fine. I'm not doing anything off that anyway because it tagged the ATR below, tagged the ATR above. That's how I determine what kind of setup it is. So this is not a tradable event for me now. Now we have a new event. We do have some potential trades here. Again, guys, this guy's on TV talking. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent is talking, right? So you either got to decide you're not going to trade when he's talking. But like I said, good luck because they talk all day. If it's not them, there's 14 Fed dudes talking throughout the day. You just got to put on trades and hope you don't get screwed. But as far as this event, this was actually a potential. All right, so I stopped out of. All right, so I had Barks and Licks on off that event up here I told you, so I trailed it to this event and I got stopped out there. It's fine. It was a small winner, nothing big. So I was actually supposed to put on a sexy Gexy. So I'm just jumping from trading strategy to trading strategy. Guys, I know, especially if you're new, it's like drinking out of a fire hose, but I'm trading live. These markets are whipping around. The ATR in NASDAQ is 53.5, meaning it's rotating 53 points every 5 minutes. Again, I'm trading live, so I don't have time to break everything down in basic terms. So, the more of these you watch, my trade room or on these Bookmap webinars, you'll start to make sense of what I'm doing. But I understand I'm talking fast, but the markets are trading fast. So, and I'm covering multiple strategies. So you can see here. And again, this is not, even if you come in my trade room, these strategies are not to be taking every single one of these, right? These are my strategies I developed over 25 years of trading. Yeah, I could take them all because they're all in my head. For you or newer traders, pick one or two position trading strategies. Pick one or two of the auto fade strategies. Auto fade strategies are where you jump in the market right in the middle of the zone, which are still pretty scary. They're not the best odds trades, but they're worth they're great R trades, risk reward trades. And then we have the reversion strategies. So reversion strategies are playing moves back to these volume events, which happens nonstop, all day, every day, in every market, right? So we have different entries for those, either aggressive ATRs. So this is the one ATR. This is the actual ATR. The one ATR entry is just in front of the 5-minute ATR. That's that, right? So you can take them aggressively, meaning they don't have to be, in any area or bouncing off anything. But if you're going to take those, they're very labor intensive. You got to be fast, and you got to take them all. If you want the edge, for any edge, you have to take them all, or there's no edge. It's just random trading. If you were passing on some because you feel like a trade's not going to work, you don't have an edge. It's just randomness, right? So if you're going to commit to a strategy, then you take every single one. So I'm not taking these aggressively on web. I'm not even taking them aggressively on my own, meaning every one I see I take. This is firing off at a trading firm automated. I wait for the back and blacks, which are better trades per se, right? So this would not be one off the GEX1, but say that ATR was here, I'd wait for the bounce off the GEX1 to show that it's a good resistance area, then take the corresponding ATRs back to the zone and then out of the zone, right? That's not happening here. This is actually right through GEX1. Say if this ripped up here, then I would take the 3, the 2. Actually, I'm sorry, that's the 2. I would take the 2 back. We call it the backdoor reversion. The 2 ATR, the 1 ATR back to zone. So when you're looking at this chart, I know it looks like there's 1,000 things on here. It's really not that complicated. We have the zone, the volume event that just happened. Actually, let's see here. Is this a double whammy here?
CP short validated.
So the sell ice was not. Well, okay, maybe. Let's see if I have to adjust this some. Well, that was that there. You can maybe draw this sell ice here because you had sell ice, it cut off at the minute mark, and then more sell ice. So this was already close to threshold on its own, so I would potentially combine these two. So let's take a look. So this is one of the things that is subjective about this, right? Most of the stuff I do is very black and white with these zones, but sometimes you're going to get situations like this where it didn't draw the zone, but you had almost threshold right here, 145. It only missed it by 5 contracts for drawing the event and announcing it. And then you had another 50 or 45 here, so you have, or 53. So you have over 200 sell ice. So that is draw worthy. Let's see here. So this is how you draw them. You see where this starts to spike, you go to the middle of that bubble. This is the zone drawing tool. You can do this manually too. So that's where it started, and you can adjust the zone. So every time this thing spikes, you want to be adjusting it.
Validated.
So that's still in there. So let's this may be lower here. I may be missing something while I'm drawing this. So guys,
validated.
if you remember, this is what I did all day, every day for 7 years. So at least we have the zone drawing tool now. If anyone had this draw in my room, put it in there for me just so I can confirm this, because mine did not draw off this stuff. So I wouldn't bring it up to there. See, it's not spiking there. And you can follow the contract size on the bottom left. Again, I'm not even that mad if I'm missing a trade here because this guy's still talking and you're just rolling the dice. You're better off going to the casino or the racetrack. I'd rather be at the racetrack than trading this stuff. Trading this stuff while they're talking. So this spiked again. Remember I said I was going to include that 50.
NQ1 validated.
So there you go. So that's how I'm going to draw that sell ice that just came in. Alright, so now we have the events. Now, I think I got out of those shorts. Alright, just make sure I didn't have any resting orders in there. Alright, so this event was bullish. This event's about to be bullish right about now. I'll announce it. Come on, Bookmap Bob. You may have already said it. Missed it by a tick. So there's different things we can do now here, right? So first of all, what you need to know. There you go. So this one validated, this one validated. So this held where it needed to hold for Armageddon again, right? We just talked about this. Balance, did break down to that balance and held that high volume note for right now. So now what I'm looking at, I mean, if this comes back, we'll take the breaking bad and the failed balance break out of that guy, like I said. Now what you're looking at is a potential failed balance break down that way. So the line in the sand for that is about 19,600. That's been the line in the sand a lot lately. So if this any event now and or entry I get above 19,600, I'm going to take the failed balance. And this is the best position trade in trading, in my opinion, right? Where that should happen. And again, you put the trade on. If it doesn't happen, then there's more opportunity on the downside, like we talked about. So anyway, that's trying to happen right now. We get up to 19,600. So I'm not off of this event. I wouldn't take failed balance breakdown and or double size longs, but if this gets above 19,600 and I get a volume event, I'm taking the failed balance breakdown, and any longs I get, I'm taking double size. So in the meantime, we'll watch this thing come all the way back to the zone like it always does, feels like. Tags the ATR, so this is why, I mean, this did tag the ATR, but this is why we have the one ATR, that's this dotted line. That's why we have the one ATR entry right in front of the ATR, because these algos, when it gets to an ATR, love to snap it back. So the ATR trade is basically joining the algos, right? Like the algos wreak havoc on traders all day long. Well, this trade actually joins them, and it's a scalp trade. So most traders gravitate towards scalping. They want to scalp so bad because it's more comfortable, right? That's why trading's so hard, because it's uncomfortable sitting in position trades while it does that to you. This is a more comfortable trade, if you will, because you're just waiting for these ATRs, you're jumping in and you're getting out back at the zone and the trade's done. It's very like automated. It's like your own algo. And this also trains you if you have trouble sitting in trades or not knowing. Most traders can't sit in trades because they don't really know, like, okay, I got long, where do I get long? Okay, now I'm long. Where do I get out? This trade tells you everything you need to know, and it conditions you to be a better trader as far as if you want to ever move to position trading, right? You know you get in there. The stop for that one ATR is this dashed dotted line up here. Where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. It's on top of that. Right, so if I got on the one ATR, I didn't get in this one ATR. If I got in that one because it was just aggressive, I'm not taking those on the webinar. The stop for that's here, and then my exit is there. So these percentages for the ATR differ. The one is actually a very, very aggressive trade, but it's still 70+%, right? So you can see from my over the years trading it, it's at least 70% profitable. Right, and it's running at a trading firm too, so we'll have the exact stats. So here's Jay Labrada, my room moderator, did this for us. If you take the one ATR reversion trade, you're risking 1.5 to make one. Well, that is not a great risk reward for trading for for all these R traders. I understand that, but and you have to be a 60% trader just to break even. Well, what did I just say? It's at least a 70% trade if you take every single one of them. Remember, it's very hard, but if you do it, you're going to be over 70%. And I will validate that when we get these stats from the trading firm, because it's trading automated instead of me just saying it is. I mean, I know it is from watching them, but that's not enough proof for some traders. So we'll have the numbers for that. The 2 ATR, you're risking 1 to make 1.38. That's getting a little better as far as ATR. The issue with, and then I'll tell you the issue here. And then the 2, you only have to be a 42% trader. And then the 3 ATR, you're risking 1 to make 1.95. So now you're getting into real risk reward territory, and you only have to be a 34% trader to break even. Great. So you may be saying, well, I'm just going to take all 3 ATRs. Yeah, that's great, but
S&P stocks stopped by ES 568 contracts.
let's see if this is a Gexy or anything here. All right, so we have another trade here too. I'll get back to the ATR, the sexy Gexy. This guy's talking. I don't think I want to take these right now. He just won't stop talking. Yeah, it's probably going to work too. This is the highest Gex level on the board too. So go watch the Method. Check out Method Q, and I use SpotGam and Method Q. I did a webinar with Method Q the other day. Watch their YouTube. We just did one on what was it, Tuesday? So go watch that webinar, Method Q YouTube. I'm not going to take this. It is kind of through this level anyway. So the sexy Gexy trade, remember I was talking about the auto entry trades? Well, the sexy Gexy is when you run into a Gex level where you know these dealers, this is the biggest Gex level. And when I say Gex level, So this is the method queue to get the levels on. You can get them on Bookmap. You can get them on other forms. Other platforms. So let's see. So you'll see what I'm talking about here. Right, so there it is. So this should be 5510 if I'm reading it correctly. No, 5600-ish. So let's see what that looks like on here. I don't know why that's Gex 1. So Gex 1 means it's the heaviest concentration of dealer gamma that they have to hedge themselves. So I would have thought that was it. I don't know if I'm reading something wrong here. Again, I don't claim to be an options expert at all. I use this in very basic sense. This looks like where we're at here for this Gex level. So it just shows you that the numbering is just based on the strength of the Gex level, right? And I should have taken this one, of course. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I chickened out. I kind of went through it anyway, so I'm all right with it, and the guy was talking, but this is what the trade's supposed to be, right? You run into these Gex levels, you get the volume event, an opposing volume event, so you want to see, in this case, buy stops that fail. Those are usually just the dumb money puking, right? The retail trader puking. I'm a retail trader too, don't get offended. And or sell ice. And then what you do, what I'm doing now, and this is a trading development, but it's so strong, and this was this here too, by the way. It's so strong, I'm willing to adjust it as I go because it works enough, meaning there is an edge. But right now, the way I'm trading it is I jump in with hopefully multiple positions. So this one you could have put on double. You could have put on double size here. We'll go over that why you could have done that. But I'll get out of half of them first, move out of the zone. So actually, where you would enter ATR reversions, that's where I get out of half of the 60 Gexy, and then I'll let half ride for a position trade. So I didn't do anything there. I am missing, so this is exactly what I said I was going to take, and I missed this trade because I was explaining that. This is the back in black. So if this can pop back up there, I'm going to take that. So I can take 4 here. There's no way it's going to pop back up there, trust me. I've seen this movie before about 5 million times.
Yes, short validated.
There you go. It's like I'm psychic, isn't it? So anyway, this is exactly what I said I was going to take, but I was looking at the ES, and I'm going to miss this damn trade. So this is the back in black. Hopefully my room caught this because I talked about it. You have 2 gamma levels here. Bounced off. Should have taken that. Wow, wow, I am seriously, I must be psychic. How did I know that was not going to come back and fill me and come right back to the zone? Because when I miss trades, they are 100% winners. That's why.
150 contracts.
Guys, this is just me getting out frustration, right? I talk like this all the time. I know it's not, I'm supposed to be the consummate pro. I'm a human being, right? And it bothers me when I miss trades. The way I get it out, different traders have different ways of getting it out. I used to break screens and stupid immature crap like that. Now I just bitch about it and get it out, right? So if I keep it all inside and act like, oh, that doesn't bother me. Oh, well, that was only 500. That was only 1,000 I missed. I'm just lying to myself, right? So, every trading psychologist that's worth his weight will tell you don't ignore your emotions. There's no reason you can't get mad, but you let it go, right? So that's my way of letting it go. I talk it out, but hopefully, if you guys were listening, I said I was going to take that, and then I was looking at the damn ES for a trade I didn't even take. So there you go. Because this is what happens all day, every day. The ATR reversion. This one was the back in black. You get the reaction at the Gex levels that we were just talking about, and you take the corresponding ATRs. All right, so I missed it. Onward and upward. Let's check Algo Guy to see if we have any potential bark and lick trades here, position trades. Algo Guy's bullish. I've moved my Algo Guy to 50 ticks. It's usually 25. It's an exponential moving average. We nickname it Algo Guy because there's so many algos that trade on this thing. Like when it crosses, you get these algos that pile, like when the blue crosses, the blue is the short term, crosses above the long term red. It rips just like that. So anyway, if that comes back, I'm going to put on bark and lick long here. 49.50. I can put on, I don't have an opinion here, a little higher. I'm going to put on double size longs. Opinion meaning trade bigger in that direction. 50 quarter, and you can see these prices here too. 50 quarter long aggressive. I could put on, what did I say? 2. 2 micros. So this is based off of my risk parameter. This is the zone drawing tool that I've been alluding to all day. That gives you, this is the pro version that gives you the,
Gas ice iceberg by NV, 152
you get the nat
contracts.
gas number. I'm not trading that right now. Where you get the reversion lines, you get your risk, the basic tool, you get your ATR and then the entry and stops. The pro version, you get all the reversion lines, the reversion prices, and you get the risk parameters, right? So for my risk here, I am risking on most of these are Apex. This one's live at a firm, but you can see here, what am I doing? I never can find the same, staring right at it. Right? So you can see, you put your capital in, your risk, your trading account, and what you want to risk per trade, and it automatically will adjust your size for you. So for me, if I want to risk on my position trade here, if I'm going to take the bark and the lick trade, bark and lick.
Gas ice iceberg sell NG, 152 contracts.
Bark and lick are basically are the same trade. The only difference is with the lick, I'm holding it till we get to the liquidity, so it could be a bigger trade as far as risk reward. So anyway, the pattern for that is you want to see an ATR touched, the retest of the zone. We talked about that. Missed that trade. That's a different trade. And then as it comes back, I'll take the long. This is the entry. 50 quarter. Bark, lick, put on a whopping 2. And that.
S&P ice iceberg sell ES, 702 contracts.
All right, let's go to yes. Maybe they can miss the trade in here again, like I just did. Let's see what's going on here. I really wish I would have put on that sexy Gexy. All right, so there's nothing here as far as Gex level. Sell ice is coming in. We may have a potential A+ reversion. I'll get back to that here in a second. If this comes back here, I got to put these damn orders in. Hold on, 50 quarter. Lick. Bark. All right, those are working. If that comes back. As far as other areas here, areas meaning trading strategies. Remember, trading strategies are just looking for volume events in my important areas. You may not have the same important areas. That's perfectly fine. It's not for me to tell you what areas are important. What I am telling you is demand a volume event and the rules around the volume event in your area, and you will be a much, much, much better trader. If you're not using this stuff, you don't have all the information. Doesn't mean you have to have it, but you know to be a profitable trader, but you don't have all the information. And I would think we don't even have all the information, but we have enough to have a incredible edge, right? So if you're not using real-time volume in your trading, like that's just like, I mean, that makes no sense. Volume makes the world go around. That's what I want to say. It makes markets move, right? The markets don't move because of lines on a chart. Markets are moving because of traded contracts. So it would behoove you to understand the traded volume and how it affects these markets, especially with this enhanced CME MBO data that you are seeing here. All right, what was I going to do now? I was going to show something. Got any questions? Throw them in the YouTube. I got to take a breath anyway. Audio is cut. No, it's okay. The red on the right means there's more sellers than buyers currently. First of all, there's never more sellers than buyers. There's always got to be equilibrium, right? There's got to be a buyer for a seller.
Sell NG, 150 contracts.
There's got to be a buyer for a seller, or there would be a vacuum, right? So there's always, it's who's initiating the trades is a different story. But that's not meaning there's more sellers than buyers. There's more aggressive sellers than buyers, meaning hitting bids more than they're taking offers. That's the difference. There's never more buyers than sellers because the market would vacuum. It would just swipe.
Sell NG, 150 contracts.
I guess I'm about to turn this thing off here. Turn off the volume. I don't want to listen to it. Speaking of algos, look at this market. So again, when you look at a market and you see it looks like a Christmas tree, that means it's just a complete algo city market, right? This is the end of the number. I'm not trading this right now. I'm actually going to turn this sound off because it's annoying me. I'm already in a bad mood for missing that.
Prior entry long retested.
What am I doing? So I'm just going to turn off the volume. And then I'm sure I'll forget and miss trades later, but that's all right. All right, I don't have to hear that nonsense right now. I really would have wish I would have put on that sexy Gexy up there. This is a whopper. So the way I would have traded it, should have, could have, like I said, You get the event, you jump in, at least multiple contracts. You got out a half on the dealer reaction, and then you hold half. I mean, this is already a 20, almost a 25-point trade out there. So that's the Sexy Gexy. It worked. So hopefully my room's catching some of these. I mean, that Sexy Gexy was a little more subjective, and I made a decision not to trade it, but I wanted to trade this, and I missed it.
Validated.
All right, what also I missed here, I guarantee it, because I wasn't looking. So remember, because I was looking at Gexies, this was a volume event. I'm sure this was in an area that I could have taken a short off of that as well. And it wasn't an Izzy zone, so that's good. That makes me feel a little better. Let's see if we get anything. So I'm just scanning areas that I would have taken this trade, just so I could be more mad. Nothing for me as far as important. It did bounce off the yellow lug, which it's been doing all day, but that's not a trade for me. So I'm okay. I didn't miss anything off of this. This now, actually, this is going to be a back in black right here, which I'm going to take.
Prior NG1 validated. NG1 validated.
Come on. All right, again, guys, this webinar is not for you to be mirroring trades. This is, for education purposes only. I'm showing these strategies. So this is a back in black reversion, right? Like the one I just missed in NASDAQ, this is the same thing. Bounces off a gamma level. I take the corresponding ATR, exit back at the zone. Very automated. There's no, I don't know, I should get out here. It's, you put it in, my stop for that is down here, and then I let it work. Winner or loser, on to the next trade. It's if you have an edge, you just keep putting the trade on, right? Again, I've seen this movie before. This is how it usually works. The one that I missed is a winner. Now the one I'm going to put on is probably going to be a loser. So some days that's just how it goes. Lately it's been like that many days because of all the headlines. Now I'm rolling the dice that something's not, so Trump doesn't come out and say that we're going to bomb Canada or something. Got to hope that doesn't happen. All right, so that trade's on, and then I have different trades I can take here too off of this sell ice event. Let's see what Algo looks like. It's crossing right now, so the blue is below the red. So if this follows the same pattern, and I still can potentially put on NASDAQ longs, I'll go there in a second. But if this follows this pattern, and I hope it does, because then I'll get out of my reversion trade, ATR, retest, confirm, I will put on Bark and Lick shorts in ES. So I'll stop looking at that, so maybe it'll work. All right, so this is a potential variation long here too. So remember we were saying we were going to take Bark and Lick longs here off of the ATR retest of this. Well, this one is being retested right now. So this is a variation where I can still take longs off of that event same way, as long as the most current event doesn't prove to be a bearish event, right? So it's already qualified as bullish, but I won't take this Bark and Lick if this guy tags the ATR below. That's just how I trade it. So if this pops out of here, though, I can take the Bark and Lick at a little better price. So that was that price there. It's the yellow line is the entry. I get in just outside of an ATR. There's a reason we do this, right? This guy's still talking, man.
Extending the Gaza ceasefire deal by several weeks in return for additional hostage releases.
Very treacherous trade. You got to deal with it. It sucks, but it's just every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes there's a headline. Anyway, if this comes back out of here, I can take Barks and Licks at the, you can see they're long aggressive. You can see it down there in the bottom left, and you can see it, well, you won't see it here because this is all based on the most recent zone. So that's why you got to hover over it. So my entry for that, right there, would be 24.50. And if you hover over the zone, I'll tell you what size I should put on. So I could put on 0.2 if that pops out of here. 24.50, Bark and Lick long NASDAQ. And I can still put on the Bark and Lick long off this event too, if I wanted to, which I probably will. I'll just leave it in there. I think I already have that in there.
Gold Ice Iceberg Sell GC, 150 contracts.
Alright, gold's in my doghouse today. Yesterday we were long. I've been waiting for this move for 3 days. We get in the trade. I was going to get out at the red log. It got within 10 ticks, and I was pretty certain it was going to blow through. And then the end of the day came, nothing happened, of course. And then they do the sneak attack overnight. And this is remember we were talking about failed balance breakdown. This is what should happen on a failed balance breakdown. So you also, if you guys were watching any webinars this week, like the Mentor Q, I talked about this too. There was like 5,000 buy ice in here too.
Stop by GC, 237 contracts.
Very, 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 very upsetting. It couldn't just happen yesterday. I had like 5 different strategies on double size, and it just sat literally for 2 hours, did nothing.
Prior GC1 validated.
It's too loud, sorry. All right, so anyway, guys, this is the best trade in trading, position trade. Failed balance breakdown. Gets through the high volume node, any event you get. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to probably take. I'm not probably going to take it. I am going to take it in NASDAQ if that happens. That's what should happen during a failed balance breakdown. So that's what I'm eyeballing here in NASDAQ. If it comes back. So this, this is getting hairy. This is a very, very, what happens here is going to dictate what happens the rest of the day, in my opinion, just a guess. But you don't want to see a selling tail, first of all. Here's your balance. Remember, it tried to break down. Well, where did it stop at? Oh, look at that, high volume node, right? That's why you guys want to know the structure stuff. A great video, I posted this on my YouTube channel. So this is, I did a mentoring session, which if you guys don't know what you're doing, it would behoove you to meet with me and pick up some expertise. But this was this here. Actually, I will show that. I will put this in the room for you. So I said, yeah.
NQ disqualified.
All right, so I can't do anything on NASDAQ long, and I'm probably going to get blown out of that ES reversion. I told you, that's just the way it goes on certain days. Like for me, anyway, I miss a trade, then I finally put it on, and then I lose on that one. All right, so this is, you guys can watch that. That's the Twitter. Click on that link, and it'll take you.
By CL, 150 contracts.
But anyway, it's about structure. So NASDAQ is in a very important area, put it that way. All right, so see, there's nothing for me to do right now off of this stuff, though. As long as, yeah, see, so this current zone, this guy, it tagged the ATR above, it tagged the ATR below. There's nothing for me to do. I was potentially going to. Now we got the China talking. I was going to take the bark and lick off of there. So regardless, there's no trade for me off of this stuff right now. That's just my rules. If it pushed as an ATR this way, pushes an ATR that way, it's just telling me it's a chop city. I'm not touching it. And then again, you got China talking too, so that's fine. I still am long my back in black here. And there's still stuff I can do off of this guy if it retests. So just keep an eye on that, see what's going on in crude.
GC1 validated.
Hold on, we got a lot of stuff here in gold as far as potential back in blacks. There's a lot of GEX levels up here. I might take these. But what you want to watch for is I would not be taking, this is what I explained on the Mentor Q webinar the other day too. Yes, options dealers are a huge factor in these futures markets because they have to hedge their positions. They get loaded up with options. They have to hedge with futures. So yeah, they respond at these levels, and that's what you saw the ES work, right? You don't want to be taking You don't want to be taking sexy Gexies or back in blacks when you see extremely heavy relative volume, right? So this is my P&L today. I took some beatings in crude. So we'll go over these trades if we get a chance, but I took losses on those, and I was short NASDAQ, and I got stopped out on that move during the talk. But anyway, what I was showing you here is, so this I wouldn't take a sexy Gexy here in gold or a back in black. Look at this relative volume hitting. You have 4 times normal volume. Where was this relative volume yesterday when I was long 14 strategies at double size? I don't know. But anyway, don't take that. What I will take here, though, this is a primo. It's already going to be a potential A+ reversion, right? So you get event, event. So we talked about the reversions. That's the reversion line, 1 ATR reversion, right? Well, they're even better when you get your entry in front of or into a prior event, as long as the stop is outside of that one. That's a plus. And you have all this relative volume coming into this area. What is that? Well, it's just use your common sense. It's huge trades, but whoever, and this thing is ripping, right? Well, how would you feel if you sold during this rip here, and you're holding on, like you just had resting orders in your order book and you get run over? You're like, please come back, right? So that's if this comes. All right, I gotta get out of this reversion. So if I'm in a reversion, I hear a new event, I'm out. All right, I made $50. Sweet. I might buy a bag of balls here in Scottsdale. So, guys, these are my rules, though, right? If I'm in a reversion trade to a Stop Iceberg event and I get a new event, well, I'm not going to hope it comes back to that event. You got a new event, I'm out. So I'm out. Made $50. Sweet. All right, so now we got trades off of this, though. We got a potential A+ reversion here. Well, it's close. We'll see when it gets up there. And then we got potential back and blacks off this. And then we have potential position trading strategies too. So I'll get to that in a second. This gold, though, I definitely want to put in. This is an A+ reversion. So this is trading automated at a trading firm. So I'm not going to put it on this account, but I am going to put it on my other account. So again, this is for educational purposes only. Do not mirror my trades. Learn what you're doing for yourself, and then you can do this stuff all day, every day. So then you see the reversion entry there for 1 is 2972.5. You can get it put over here too. Where's that? Reversion 1. Why does that say a different price? 72.50. Right here. 72.50. And I could put on 12 micros, or you could put on one full contract. It's going to be a little less, right? You can't split up a full contract. So that comes back there. I'm putting that on. 72.50. And then the stop for that is here. You may even want to move it a little bit lower to get yourself out of this volume event. I'm willing to risk another, so the stop should be 83. If I move it below this sell ice event, I'm at 70. I'm willing to risk another 13 ticks, and that's extra support for the trade. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to get through that area where traders are loaded up too. So I will put that on. That comes back. I don't think I'm supposed to be showing this stuff, but here, I'll move it over here. There's something about showing your trades. 72.50.
GC long validated.
So actually now I can't put that on. Well, technically you can, but you don't want to see an ATR out of this zone and then come back, because it's telling you something if it tags the ATR and can't hold and comes back. So, I mean, the trading firm actually is not taking that into consideration, meaning it would still take this reversion. I'll put it on one account, but it gets treacherous when, if a market pushes an ATR out, that's what we wait for, and it doesn't go, well, it's telling you something. You don't want to be buying when it comes back, because it may just rip through everything. I'm okay taking this one because of what we just talked about. All of these volume events, which is an A+, all that relative volume, I'm already taking it, but it's not exactly how the trading strategy is meant to be.
150 contracts.
Now I can't take it anyway because we have a new event, so now it's canceled. Take up. Seriously, where was this move yesterday? I think there was probably 5 guys in my room that were long this too. How frustrating! Sat in the trade for 2 hours. It's frustrating because this is exactly what I thought was going to happen, aka my thesis, right? And it just didn't happen yesterday. And of course, they ripped the thing off of the page to new highs today. But guys, just mark this up in your book of trades. This is what a failed balance breakdown should do. Look at that move, right? And then you had the benefit of knowing, if you have Bookmap and you watch gold or watch the Method Q webinar the other day, or have been in my room for the last 3 days when this is all I've talked about, there was a ton of buy ice here too. So if someone was buying this, wow, I can't believe they were right. It's almost like they knew something. All right, done complaining about that
Iceberg 5GC.
for now.
150 contracts.
All right, so let's check the current stuff because you guys want to put on trades. Algo guy is still bearish here. So it's right on top of each other. So we'll see how this reacts, whatever way this moves the ATR out of here. Like I was saying, this is a potential.
Stop by NQ. 183 contracts.
Hold on. There's no Gexies here. So new event. There was nothing for me to do off of this stuff, but now we have a new event. So we will trade accordingly. I could take this back in black here. This one I'm going to do my best. What I should have done, this is a good lesson here, I should have put an alert in and then I wouldn't have missed it tagging that. That's not hard to do, right? There you go. So now if it tags these and starts to come back, I will put on that back in black. Let's see where we're at here as far as structure. Nothing here for me as far as market profile. Nothing for the lugs, for ES for this new event. I'll come back to gold here in a second. You have potential A plus trades working reversions in crude. We'll come back to that. Actually, let me. Well, it'll tell us if it's. It'll let us know. I'm just checking these areas to see what I'm going to put on here. Lost my charts. All right, so this buy ice is at 561. So there's nothing for me to do as far as my inflection zones. So I draw these zones based on the 4 important areas of charting, the colors. All they do are separating them. They don't have any significance other than that. So they don't just run. It like gives you a headache. They run into each other. You don't know where one starts, where one ends. So that's why I just color them. Anyway, there's no inflection zone. These are drawn from 4 different areas of charting. Tops and bottoms of balance areas. My volume nodes of balance areas. Buying and selling tails. Tail. Could draw that if something happens here. And then directional conviction. So the other thing, directional conviction is outsized moves, right? So gaps are directional conviction too.
Validated.
Hold on here. Let me see what's going on here in gold. This was almost a. It was almost a Gexy. I mean a back in black, but the entry is through there. So, and it's through this volume event. I'm still tempted to take this though, just because you have all this stuff down here that it's got to get through to be wrong. I'm gonna break my rules here. I'm sure that'll work out.
Order filled.
All right, I'm gonna take this A plus reversion, even though it's not an A plus reversion. Right, you want your entry to be in the prior event or in front of it, and the stop through it. But the stop is through this guy too, so I'm willing to give this a shot here. And you have all that heavy relative volume we went through. This is not the official trade though, so if I lose, I deserve it because I'm breaking my rules here. Well, I did that the other day too. I put the 10 lot on live on accident. Thought I was on my other account when I was trading micros. I put on 10 full ES contracts in this volatility. Yeah, that's how you lose 5-10 grand in about 2 seconds. All right, the exit for this is at 2092.6.
CL short validated.
All right, we got a A plus reversion in crude here too. Hold on. All right, that's working. If that comes back. All right, so again, both these markets are in crucial. Whatever happens here, you're going to get. I want to read spot gamma here too. I haven't even had a chance to read it. One of my members said he was talking about a rip. This doesn't look at, this is still pretty much just one big balance now. Like, I don't see anything defined there as far as fractal balances. I mean, I guess you got that little dude. I might trade a failed balance break out of that if that happens, but we're just right in the middle of this thing, right? So we're at the high volume node. That's where the high volume node, HVN they call it, is, it's really good writing, HVN. It's just the middle of a balance area where most trade occurred. So nothing really here to do. I mean, for that particular trade, Izzy trade. And there's nothing here for this NASDAQ either. So, but there's always a bark and lick. So the bark and lick are the most aggressive trades. Why? What's bark stand for? Blind. What is blind? Blind means it could happen anywhere. I don't need an important area. All I need for that trade, blind ATR retest confirm. Take any trade with an SI volume event that has an ATR retest confirm. That pattern. Algo guy, that's the exponential moving average that we talk about all the time, must be trending in the same direction to take the trade. Bullish means blue ribbon above red. Bearish means blue ribbon below red. So we were looking at that, and it's kind of bouncing back and forth. So I'm not going to know which bark and lick I'm going to take until Algo guy gives me a definitive answer, and this moves out of the zone. So this doesn't know what it's going to do yet either. I'm very tempted to take this A+ reversion too if it comes back up there, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I need to find my Algo guy because I lost it, as usual. Hold on here. Lose my charts nonstop with this crappy Thinkorswim. That's not it. This is fun. Fun to search for this every time I want to find a damn chart. I just laugh at some of this stuff. Like, you know, the people that put this stuff together are supposed to be so smart, kind of like the rhythmic guys with their crappy domes. It's like they're so smart, but then there's just such stupid stuff on there. Like the rhythmic, you can't, like, you got to set a default quantity every time, and it's just, don't even get me started on that. It's just, the guys are brilliant, but then they just miss the most basic stuff. I can't find this damn chart, guys. I don't know if I X'd out of it or what. I'm looking for my Algo guy chart. Oh my goodness gracious, that's not it. Why? What did I do with it? I can't find it. Someone post a ES Algo guy for me once this moves out of here. Please. I just don't know where my charts go. Like, I'm sitting here on 5 screens and it's nowhere to be found. Alright, so anyway, NASDAQ. I see NASDAQ Algo guy. Here it is. So it's very choppy right now, right? This is the, you know, the news was out earlier, the headlines. It's been choppy. This is bearish. So again, this is getting interesting though for bigger picture trades if it starts to fail. But I'm watching this guy now. If this turns bearish, what does that mean? If it tags the ATR below, the ATR is only 60 right now. I don't know, that's pretty weak. Not 60 ATR is like insanity, and it's been like that for 3 weeks. Very volatile. But guys, that's the great thing about this. Like, if you have the zone drawing tool or the spreadsheet, the spreadsheet is the zone drawing tool. It's way more laborious, right? You got to type everything in, but that's all we had until my developer, my trader, Johan, he's a trader in my trader room, developed this thing, godsend. Forgot what I was talking about with that, but anyway, if it gets the ATR retest confirmed, I will take bark and lick shorts. There's nothing for me to short here otherwise as far as position trading, so we'll wait for that to happen. As far as back in blacks, you know, say this rips down here, I know that would never happen in these market environments. Oh, I just was remembering what I was saying, and I forgot it again. Anyway, if it comes here, bounces off that, I take that too. So keep an eye on it. They're just, nothing's happening right now. So, oh, I was saying that's the great thing about the zone drawing tool. It just tells you, you sit back and you wait for your validations, and you're not just jumping in whipsaw algo trade, right? You're still gonna have algo trade when you put the trade on. It's just a better method. We got someone's talking. Here we go. Now we got some Russia talk. So far today we've had Trump, we've had Bessonette, we've had China, and now we have Russia saying there is no agreement yet in the Putin-Trump talks. Very, very easy to trade. Simple.
Stops and Icebergs by ZB. 589 contract.
Again, trading's hard enough. You got these headlines nonstop.
22 IIF.
So this other great thing here, let me put this in too, by the way, I forget. So this is everything I use in my trading. I'm going to put this document in the YouTube channel, and we'll go over it one by one. I will answer some questions. I see there's a bunch in here. Good to see you guys participating for once. All right. I just want to take one quick look at crude here.
Order filled.
All right, so that I broke the rules there, but it worked. I was willing to do that because of everything we talked about. So that one, there you go. I don't know if you guys have seen this pattern before. It's when the market hits the ATR and then comes back to the zone. Only about 5,000 times a day across markets. It's just, I found my Algo guy. See, things are looking up here. All right, Algo guy's bearish. I've seen literally a million of them, and it still amazes me how well they work. It's nutty, right? Again, it's a good scalp trade. All right. So anyway, you do have an A+ reversion brewing here. This was more new stuff, by the way. I was short. Then they started talking. Those were those losses I showed in crude, and then I got stopped out, and then something came out, and then I did that. Anyway, event. This ATR, the stops right at it. That one's iffy as far as A+ reversion. Remember, the entry, which is the dotted line, that's the 2 ATR. It has to be in front of, or it could be in front of or in it as long as the stop is through it. The stop is right at the edge of it. The 3 is fine, right? See, the 3 is there, and the stop's way down here. So I will try this. This is, again, I'm pushing it again here. But I'll try it. 6706 is my entry. I'll put it on this. Go. I could put on 33. 33 micros or 3 full contracts. This is the beauty of the zone drawing tool, right? It tells you everything you need to know. This is where traders struggle the most. Where do I get in? Where do I get out? How many should I put on? This is the biggest fallacy for all traders, or fallacy is the wrong word, but trading too big for their accounts, right? This tells you if you want to risk $500 on this trade, if you're going to take the 1 ATR or the 2 ATR reversion, you could put on 3 full contracts or 31 micros. If you lose, it's going to cost you $500. There's no questions. Everything's here for you. It's like Johan developing that, like I said, is a godsend. Somebody's texting me in my room, I think. I'm missing a zone in CL. Well, that's important. Let's see. I was just raving about Johan. Now I'm going to yell at him because I'm missing zones. I don't have, what zone am I missing here? I don't see him. I see this stuff over here. This was not anywhere near threshold. So again, guys, threshold, I don't trade every blip on the stop iceberg indicator. So these zones are being drawn off the subchart stuff here. Threshold meaning a tradable event. Well, how do I know what the threshold is? Because I've watched these for 8 years, and I know what is a meaningful amount of volume to trade off of. 90 is not a meaningful volume to trade off of. 150 is. That's what that drew. So where's their sell stops? These two here? I don't see any sell stops in here. So. All right, let me get some. So that's working on one of my other accounts. Let's see what happens there. Why is my YouTube frozen? That's weird. We're allowing more sellers than buyers. Currently making the stock is like, well, we're not trading stocks, we're trading futures. First of all, is likely to go down at that moment of more red. Well, if you're talking about the bubbles, these are market orders, right? So they're important, but they're not. I don't trade off of market orders. It's just telling you someone's buying and selling. Yeah, the bigger
Order filled.
Bigger the bubble, the better. All right, I just filled on that 2 ATR reversion A+. Again, this is iffy because the stop is right. It's supposed to be outside of this prior event. It's right at it. I mean, I'll move it out of there, but that's not what the trade's supposed to be. I will take the 3 though if that pops down there. That's this dude. That entry is 94. And then that stop for that, see how it's way outside of that zone? That is at 77. Is that right? What am I doing wrong here? 83. Yeah, that's right. All right. Anyway, yeah, you're just looking at market orders. The bubbles are market orders. It's just a different way of watching what's being traded on the dome, depth of market here. It's just showing you this. So yeah, it's important, but it's not, it's not that important. The big, I don't want to say it's not important. I don't have any trading strategies off of it. You're going to have buyers and sellers all day long, right? The foundation of my trading are these volume events. This is the enhanced data from the CME that shows with 100% accuracy. Well, they don't show it; they broadcast it, and then it takes a brilliant software developers to disseminate the information, like the Bookmap developers, right? So they have, they take the ID, the order numbers, or the order tags, and they know whether they're stop runs. There's more to it than that, but the point is, it's showing you where this stuff is happening. This is the foundation of my trading, right? Again, I've been trading 25 years, so you might want to listen to me. It's the strongest thing I've ever seen, the best edge I've ever seen in trading. If I would have had this stuff back when I was scalping, when I was making millions of dollars scalping, I would have made 100 times what I made, and I'm not exaggerating. If I saw it, remember I said about not having all the information, I still made money, right? I made millions at one time flipping the order book all day long. If I had this stuff, who knows, it would have been game over, right? So point is, if you're not using this, great. If you don't make money, if you're making money, great. But I'm telling you, you don't have all the information, and you do much, much better. All right, so now I'm probably going to get burned for breaking my rules here, but I will take this guy. 3.
Order filled.
Again, you want to make sure that you're not, what is this, another news headline? Usually when you get these kind of straight moves like this, something's out somewhere, but you can't control it. So, hold on, I'm going to put this one on too.
Yes, short validated.
All right, so now we got go time and what do I have a position on here?
Order filled.
Oh, that's nice. I had a position on. I had that happen the other day, last week. I was doing
short validated.
a webinar and I lost $6,000 because I didn't even know I had the damn position on, and I put on the big contracts for ES and didn't know it. That was delightful. Still not over that one. All right, so this is a short setup in NASDAQ.
PC short entered.
And this is a short setup. So something's out here, guys. I'm telling you, this is why this is. You can always judge with the S&P, right? If you see, because we know what a rotational POS it is most times, right? When you see these kind of moves, something's being said somewhere, and this is what's going on with crude here. Again, you can't predict that. There's a tick extreme too. So whatever. Actually, I wanted to put this one on. Put it on another account, that is. So this is treacherous because someone's saying something somewhere, but I'm willing to put on the 3 on this one. 72 is the exit here. And then the exit for that one is at 28. So this is the A+ reversion. This one is a legit A+ reversion. Again, if someone's not talking, someone's talking, so I gotta deal with it if it loses. This event in ES and in Q they're both bearish. There was nothing for me to take as far as position trades area-wise shorts, but if this goes ATR retest confirm, I'm putting on Barks and Licks. And again, we are in very, not as important in ES right here, but NASDAQ is in a crucial area that I will trade double-sized shorts potentially if this fails. Another tick extreme, so this is what you're hearing on that. I have my tick strike set up too. Let's see if this starts up. 7. I did some software update again yesterday. That should work. Come on. So that's the NASDAQ tick that's hitting the extreme, right? So you want to pay attention when it hits extremes. That means it's doesn't necessarily mean it's program selling, meaning funds are unloading, but if it keeps tagging the extreme tick, then it is program selling. But you have algos that also play the quick move back up. We actually have a trade for that on a tick extreme. We need a volume event, but you jump in, that's one of our auto entries, or you jump in right away. We may get one. I'll take it if we do. Why does this never hold on here? So I guess you guys can see the new thing here. So now you got a new window. Let's see if this works. Well, I'm waiting for retests. That's why I'm doing this. This is tick strike. So in that document, guys, everything that I post in that document, you get discounts to, and it's what I use in my trading. It doesn't mean I get that all the time. Well, if I come in your room, do I have to get all this stuff? No, you don't have to. All you really need is Bookmap and the SI indicator, right, to trade. These are stuff that I use in my trading. I want to get the FANG stocks up here. I'm not going to have time to do this right now, but see how it builds your thing. What are some of the other NVIDIA? NVIDIA. We'll just put a couple up here. Q. So I use this to help me judge at areas too. So that's not a great. I'll clean this up, but we want to hear it at least. All right. All right, so what else do we have here? Well, remember I say we got a potential back in black if it got down to this guy. So if that bounces off of this, you got the 2 right on it. You could take that. It's not really a back in black, but it's right on it. You take the 2 and the 1. I'll probably take those. So I will put this one in. Again, make sure the relative volume is not spiking. I don't see it spiking here, and I'm fine with these reversion trades, right? When you see heavy relative volume, it's bigger players. Don't be messing around with reversion trades. So I'm talking about right here, right? So this is the Sierra chart relative volume. You can get it on TradingView too. Guy in my room, you can get these templates too. You put this together. It's pretty helpful, especially when the Sierra chart's not working. You know what I forgot to do here too. So I set my meters at 11, so I don't have to hear every single blip. So it goes from 1 to 15 on these things. So if I hear 11, I know it's pretty serious buying or selling, right? He's got some new stuff too. They finally updated the software after about 15 years, so nice job, Tick Strike. We'll get in market pull.
Stop by ZB 516 contracts.
I'm not trading bonds right now. What was I going to say? Oh, so Market Pulse is Tick Strike. They came up with Market Pulse based on my suggestion or my wish list, and they just took it to a new level. We'll go over that here, but if you get a Market Pulse, so that's what this is here. It's showing you the most buying or selling in the last hour for the one. This algo is called the volume pressure balance. I'll just show you this real quick since nothing's going on. Where's it at? I'm having a hard time reading today for some reason. Right there. So volume pressure and balance. So I got it set for all these I move it to an hour. Everything else is default. Move it to an hour, hit play, and then it'll show you when then it'll color it. I have it 70%, so it'll color if it's 70% or more, the highest buying or most buying or selling in the last hour. That's important to know. It's not as important as the SI events. It's still pretty powerful. We have strategies on that too. All right, pretty quiet right now, but what I was showing you is a structure on NQ. So this is getting interesting. That balance here, put in a selling tail. Here we are. This is actually breaking down out of this balance. You could put it breaking away, but that means that's one of the strategies. But you need 200% or more relative volume. That's not happening. But off of this event, It's right here. So I'm not going to do it off of this as far as double size or the, remember we talked about Breaking Bad, current balance breakdown through the high volume node. We tried earlier and then held. Well, it might not hold this time. We got that, and then when fail balance break out of this guy. But we're not quite there yet. Like, if it once it gets through and it's real close here, you see how that's where it bounced a little bit ago, right where this directional conviction started earlier or yesterday. If it gets through there, watch out. It's just a guess, but I don't know what's going to happen next. I use relative volume to tell me. But thesis-wise, I will be taking all shorts double size. So this isn't quite there yet, right? The next event I get, I'm going to take those trades. The FBB, the Breaking Bad, the fail balance breakout, the Breaking Bad, and any others like Barks and Licks, all double size. So I'll still take this Bark and Lick short, but it's not going to be double size. Not just yet. Algo guy's bearish, right? So that's my filter for Barks and Licks. I don't see anything here for the back in black as far as Gex levels. It doesn't have to be a Gex level. It can be a bounce off any important area. Let's see here. I got nothing. This might be market profile. What was that guy? No. So nothing for me for the back in black here. Doesn't mean the reversion will work. The reversions work on their own. We talked about this at the beginning of the webinar. You can take them aggressively, but you got to take them all. I'm waiting for bounces off areas. We saw the whopper that I missed over here. That was not. See, I let go of things very easily. Talked about doing this, didn't do it. Boom, back to the zone. All right, let's get to some questions. I might as well be answering questions while there's nothing going on here. Outer Edge Trader, you are correct. There's no such thing as more sellers. It's just more aggressive sellers. I already covered that. Isn't more red on the right? What more red on the right are you talking about? These are offers. These are bids. Red is, if this is, I don't know if you're talking about the dome or what. These are just orders in the order book. It's called the dome, depth of market. So is it fair to say more aggressive sellers, more red than green, the prices are likely to go down? No, not at all. It could not. So even if, think about it. If there's aggressive sellers, they're going crazy, and somebody's just absorbing their selling, doesn't mean it has to go down. It could be they keep selling, just sits here, they'll keep calling me, he'll keep calling me, and then it goes that way, right? It's good information, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it has to do anything, right? So, but say you are coming into an important area, right? So say I was short and I see huge red bubbles right through an area I was going to get out. Well, yeah, you can hold on to it. You're like, okay, these sellers just pushed it right through that area. I'm okay. But no, you don't just jump in a trade because someone could, the sellers could be done or absorbed and then it turns around and goes the other way. So no, that's not correct. That's not fair to say, like you said. So Scott, so sure, the best thing is I spit on my screen, just spit at it. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's talking about when he gets mad. I don't know if I'd be. That's kind of gross, actually. It's really gross. I wouldn't tell your wife or girlfriend that you do that. That's really gross. Nick Al, do the failed balance breakdowns work on lower time frames? Yes, but they're just not as important. I mean, not as powerful, right? Just think about it, right? They work on every time frame. They're fractal, right? I can show you a million of them, right? Like this guy yesterday. Powerful meaning the more time is spent in an area, in a balance area, the more traders are in that area, and the more that they're screwed, right? So it still worked. Like this was a failed balance breakout on a 5-minute chart, and you actually had two of them. You had a little guy there, and you had another one there. And you did get a reaction, right? And then it came. So again, this one didn't go. It was telling you heads up when it came back to these high volume ones. But yeah, it's all fractal. The longer the time period, right? Like if I go to a daily, those are even more powerful. I'm a day trader. You should have a daily up to tell you the truth, right? So let's just change this to a daily real quick. I guarantee I'll show you some whoppers, right? I love Thinkorswim. It's just awesome. Minus the awesome part. Like, look at this dude. Right? How's that guy? How's that fail balance break?
Prior GC long validated.
right? So the longer the period, the more powerful the balance is. Like you had this one here. That's where that it broke out, came back, held the top of that one, came back, held the high volume node, right? So that was telling you, but this was also telling you something too, like we talk about. This tried to break down. What should have happened? Like we saw in gold, right? That didn't happen. Telling you something up. Then you got a failed balance breakout to the upside. So just structure alone, looking at a daily, could have told you. Again, I'm not holding trades for weeks, but you could use this stuff for longer term options trading too. But yeah, it's all fractal. The longer you go, the more powerful it is. It's just common sense, right? There's more traders in those areas. What am I doing here? Good question, though. Glad to see there's some participation today. GH, what's the link for the video of structures you mentioned? I put it in there. Click on that Twitter. It's right above where you asked the question. So that's this, guys. So I don't know how high tech you are, but all you got to do is click on the link, and then you click on this, and I go over to Dan H, who allowed me to put him on camera, and he was not happy about it. He said, "Fine." He's like, "I hate seeing myself on camera, but I talk all about structure here. This is what one of my mentoring sessions looks like. You guys look into it for nothing, right? I talk all about the structure stuff. Again, the structure is how I build a thesis, a guess, and then I trade bigger if the volume events are in my direction. But I'm trading both ways all day long because I'm a day trader, right? If this turned bullish, if I think this is going to get killed, but then I get a volume event that's bullish, I'm trading to the long side, right? This is king. These are king. You can listen to me or not listen to me, right? That's the whole point. You're on here to get my expertise for the last 25 years. If you want to watch these for 5 years and then figure it out, you're going to figure it out, then fine. But I'm telling you, I have never seen a better edge in my trading career than this enhanced data. The CME came out 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and gave this enhanced data. Why would they give this data? Well, this is my opinion, based on my experience with the CME. In 2016, 17, it was kind of, the retail trader was dying. It was too hard. These traders are getting knocked out of the game because of this nonsense, right? So I think to guess that they released this data to kind of throw the retail trader a bone. Think about it. Why, if firms are paying extra money, which they are, to place iceberg orders, icebergs are hidden orders in the order book. They only have to show a certain percentage. I think it's 10%. So if they want to trade a 1,000 lot, all they got to put in is 100, and then when that 100 is traded into, there's 900 behind it. That's what an iceberg is. Well, why would firms want to pay extra money to hide their orders when you can see their orders? See what I'm saying? So I think what CME, again, think is the key word here, what the CME probably told these big firms that complain that we can see their big orders is, listen, if we give this information to the retail trader, then there's going to be more traders in there for you to take their money. So that, guys, if you don't think that's what's happening, then you're in the wrong business. This is a zero-sum game. These algos, what do you think they're just whipsawing the market for fun, just to watch their trades go back and forth? No, they're whipsawing you, right? So if you understand, again, if you can't beat them, join them. We see what they're doing. And we have specific rules based on what we're seeing with this enhanced data. It's the best edge you can ever use. If you're not using it, good luck, because you don't have all the information. All right, next question. DK. It's got people when trading 0 day to expiration options, the further strikes. So, and I want to respec gamma. That's another huge. So we got the hero. I haven't even looked at it. I know there's really going on yet, but we'll hear alerts too. I'll get to your question here too. I just want to look at this real quick because I always forget. Might want to be logged in to see the information. So guys, the options dealer, this game now, and it starts right about now, by the way, where I'm already at the time to get off the webinar. Right around 10:30 is the newest game is, hey, let's buy a bunch of 0 day to expiration options and load up the dealers, and the dealers have to hedge with futures, right? So think about it. Like if I knew this game when I was a scalper as well, I would have made 100 times my money, because think about it. Say you're out of bullets. Say you're a trader. You got 1,000 you can trade. I had 3,000 at one time. I could put on E-mini S&P, right?
Iceberg buys EB. 542
Well, say you're out of bullets. Well, then you come over here and start buying options, load up the dealers, and then they have to buy the futures for you, and then you get those moves. So be very cognizant of this move. I just did a webinar with Brett from Spot Gamma. Actually came on last week on the Bookmap webinar. It's on the Bookmap YouTube. Go watch it.
Priors EB long validation.
Important information. Is it the only information? No. Are the options dealers the only entity in the futures markets? No. They are a very big entity. Between them and Algos, they are usually 85% of the trade. The other 15% of the time, the big money's in here unloading, right? So it would behoove you to watch this. And he says a billion notional is a big move or more. So if you're sitting here and you see this thing move $1 billion, you're going to see a big move in ES and Q potentially. Right, so you can see they're hammering this stuff. So keep an eye on that. But they're not the only players. Most days they are the only. That's why we're playing this GEX stuff is the same principle, right? You know, the dealers are loaded up with options and they have to hedge at these levels. It's just a different method of trading than option stuff. Let me finish a question though. People in trading 0-day expiration options further strike. You sold. Choose is one D strike at the moment. At the money. I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you suggest the furthest one should go out of the money to see price? You're asking the wrong guy, my friend. Again, I want to learn. I'm going to learn more about options. I was just talking to Mentor Q. They have this ridiculous amount of education. I got to go watch them. They talk all about these GEX levels and the thesis if it stays above like the HVL or the GEX one and all that. Like I got to watch those, but I am not. I use this stuff in the very basic sense. I kind of like that too because I don't confuse myself. I don't want too many inputs. I don't want to love it like sitting here waiting for this short, right, in NASDAQ with the structure stuff, which is very basic view of things, right? And I don't want to be like, oh, well, the options contemplate, the implied volatility is 4.28 times a E squared. And I don't want that in my head because then I freeze. That's why traders struggle that have too many indicators, right? So I want to learn about the option stuff because I know there's other strategies I can employ, but I don't want too much. I don't want too many inputs because then you have conflicting information. Sorry, typos. People suggest when trading first strike you should choose. I don't. Go to the Spot Gamma. He does them. I think he does them. I think it's Monday and Tuesday. He has an open forum for even if you're not a subscriber. If you want to subscribe, by the way, that's in that document too. So I have on here, I think you get 2 free weeks. They changed it. It's now 50% off. Use Scott. But you can get on the webinars and ask him. He's the guy you want to ask, not me. I'm not going to even pretend like I know. All right. See if there's any other questions. No other questions there. Let me check the Discord right quick. So I usually, so I say if you ask me questions in Discord, I don't see them unless I remember. I don't think there's anything in here anyway. Hold on. There's so many channels in this thing. Yeah, Slot Tarazi, gold at all-time highs. Yeah, thanks for rubbing it in, Slot Tarazi. I'm well aware. I'm just kidding. I mean, it's not like I'm mad at you. I'm mad because we were waiting for 3 days for this move and we got in it yesterday and it wouldn't go. I mean, it went. I had like 60 ticks in it, but I was expecting this type of move. What I should have done is held some overnight and I'm an idiot. So that was very upsetting. All right, guys, nothing's happening here. I got to head off the webinar because someone else is coming on. ATR retest confirm. I'm taking shorts, NASDAQ, and ES. The retest confirm of that. And NASDAQ, the next event lower, I'm taking the FBB, failed balance breakout, the breaking bad, and any shorts, any and all shorts, double size, because we're probably going to get another, again, probably it's just a guess. It's a thesis guess. But that's why I use the volume events to confirm them, right? Real-time volume events. I'm trading double-sized shorts. All right, I do this every day, twice a day in my trade room. Come on by and learn what you're doing, learn what's really going on in here. the best edge I've ever seen. I will see you guys next Thursday. Thanks.